Hello and welcome to Sports Update on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. Moments from now, we'll be having the other games of the round of 16 of the African Cup of Nations going on in Cote d'Ivoire. And games that have been lined up for today. Like I said, a few minutes away from now, we'll be having the first game. We also know that the big one will be happening also today, this evening, tonight. The Senegal against the host, Ivory Coast, that is Cote d'Ivoire. Big one, big one. DJ Drogba will be there. The whole country is being painted orange, in orange color. They are supporting their own. They are supporting the elephants. And tonight, the Teranga Lions of Senegal will be doing battle against the elephant. You know, lion against elephant. I don't really know who is going to be victorious in tonight's game, because elephant is also a very big, massive animal, and therefore the lion, when the lion roars, they say every other animal in the forest goes into hiding. So we don't know if the Teranga Lions, when they roar in Abidjan tonight, in Cote d'Ivoire tonight, then the elephant will just find somewhere to go and hide. All right. I have Femi Davis joining me on the show this evening. He's a sports lawyer. He's here to, this is not the legal side of it, but this time around, the legal business on the pitch. But for tonight, big games will be coming. Let's have that fixtures on the screen again. Let's look at those fixtures on the screen. We have Cape Verde will be playing tonight against Mauritania. That's the first game, few minutes away from now. That game will be kicking off because it's by 6 p.m. And then the second game will be between Senegal and Ivory Coast by 9 p.m. Now, let's start with Cape Verde against Mauritania, the Blue Sharks, as they are called. Thank you once again for having me again this evening. And for Cape Verde, they've been one of my favorite teams in this tournament because they've outperformed all expectations. And in this game, I don't think Mauritania will have any form of impact in the game. It will be dominated solely by Cape Verde, and they can do whatever they want with Mauritania in that game. You can say I'm too confident on it. And that is why is where I'm going to, because football sometimes can be so funny, and the side you expect to do damage to the opponent, they end up losing. Though I love what Cape Verde is playing, fast on the ball, very compact team. They play this high line kind of football. Whenever they lose the ball, you see 2-3 players, they try to get the ball back and they starve their opponents. They know how to play this tiki-taka style of football. Against a Mauritania that they have, if you look at the Mauritanian players, they are very tall, huge, with height. The goalkeeper of Mauritania, you've seen the record. How do you think they are going to really cope with this? Because any area ball is going to be won by the Mauritania defense, even their attackers. Cape Verde will not play area ball against a team like that. They will play on the ground, because for tall people, it's very difficult to keep your center of gravity is not as low. You understand? Like, so you prefer playing area balls than playing with your feet. So for Mauritania, first of all, this is a great tournament for them. If they exit here, anything after the group stage was a bonus for them anyways. For Cape Verde too, expectations wasn't that high until they changed seeing what they are doing. They changed the narrative in the group stage. So I believe that this will be a case of separating the men from the boys, because I believe so. Between the two, who is the man? Who is the man? Cape Verde have proven that they are men. Yes. Okay. And Mauritania is the boys. All right. That game will be coming up a few minutes away from now. That game will be kicking off. Then let's look at the second game, Senegal, because we'll still come back to it. We'll look at some other stories and then still come back to these games. Now, Senegal against the host tonight, big one, 9 p.m. What are we looking forward to? What is our expectations? You see that even Cote d'Ivoire fans are not putting too much expectation in this game. They are beginning to support other teams like Morocco, Nigeria. Like, so they are already having contingency plans against tonight's result. No, it's not a matter of in case. You are playing the defending champions. You have absolutely nothing. So elephant, the only thing the elephant has is the tusks. You understand? Like, so especially an elephant that's not eating for the past few weeks, wouldn't have the strength to battle a pride of lions. Like, so at the end of the day, I believe this is where it comes to an end for them, because even if they progress, it won't be for the benefit of African football. They have absolutely nothing to offer this tournament anymore. They are the host nation. Yes, they've done their job. They barely qualified from their group. Thanks to Morocco. So now is the time to, because of course, if they beat Senegal,
if they beat Senegal, is there a chance of Ivory Coast winning the tournament? Yes, there's a slight chance, even if it's 1 out of 1,000 chances. You understand? Like, but I don't believe they have any. They don't have the team to battle Senegal. Talk more of winning the game.
Okay, let's look at records. Head-to-head, Côte d'Ivoire has edged Senegal head-to-head records and their last meeting. And in 1992, I remember vividly, and Leo Cisse also mentioned it. He's saying what the Ivorians did to Senegal in 1992, they owe them a debt, and tonight they want to they want to collect what they lent to them. They want to collect it back. How true is that? Because if you look at over the years, if you look at sometimes when it comes to football, a country that struggled to qualify, once they get to the next round, they normally do well. Do you see that with Côte d'Ivoire against a team that they qualified 100%? It's only Senegal that qualified 100% from their group C, with 9 points, 9 maximum points they qualified to this round. So for tonight against the host, you know, now they will be playing 11 players on the pitch. They will be playing the 12th player, which is the fans, and somehow they will be playing against the referee. You must have that home advantage. So these three factors I just mentioned, do you see them coming to play, at least maybe pushing Côte d'Ivoire to get the victory?
No. So the reason why is because home advantage only got them as far as winning the first game of the tournament. If you look at the other games, they lost against us. They lost 4-0 in a full capacity stadium. With their own fans, home support, referee, even the pressure that the other team will be under, they still lost to Equatorial Guinea by Ferguson. I don't think it has anything to do with this team in particular. Of course, head-to-head, you can look at head-to-head and look at the quality of players that have played for Ivory Coast. This will probably be the least interesting Ivory Coast side that I have ever seen personally. So I don't see where the quality will come up from to beat a Senegal side that has kept the core of their team.
Now, let's look at the midfield of the Senegalese. We have Lamine Camara, we have this other guy, well, I think not Diakite now. We have, okay,
Mendy
yes, in the midfield. Yeah. And then for Ivory Coast, we have Fofana. Though Fofana is more or less a forward player, but he plays from the midfield. Then you have Indie, this other guy that was really fantastic against Nigeria. Now, if you look at these two players, for Fofana, 32 years of age, against a very young, against a very young Teranga Lions midfield, don't you think the experience of Fofana is going to count?
I don't think it will, because there's only much one player can do, especially playing against a Senegalese side that they play well as a team. So you know how wingers invert nowadays, like wing backs we invert into midfield. Like, they play a lot of stylish football. They don't really rely on this. There's a support system for that young midfield, as much as we say is younger than
that of Ivory Coast.
But there's a lot of support for them. There's a lot of experience around them. Like, so I don't think there will be anything less than what is expected of Senegal, because every player that has come into the setup there's a quality that has to be maintained, and those players have been told, like, you have to keep this standard up. And so I see them just fitting in perfectly into the system. And if they're playing against a Senegalese side that had no Sadio Mane, had no Koulibaly, had no Mendy, I would have said maybe they stand a slight chance. But these are the core of the team that won the last Nations Cup, and they still kept them even there up until now. Like, so I don't believe that the midfield is capable of dismantling a Senegalese midfield. That's even if they're not even fighting for their lives by 35th minute. So
okay, now for Côte d'Ivoire, they still have experience on their side. Mas Gradel was there in 2015 when they won it, alongside Didier Drogba, Didier Zakore, Konek, and co. And now he's still in this team, but he has not had any game since the beginning of the AFCON. Sergio Rey has had a game since the start of AFCON. That's their captain. Do you think now they don't have a coach? Gazette was let go. They actually looked for a way to bring in Havre. I think the French Football Federation actually stopped that. Looking at this factor before we go to the coach side. Now, for Mas Gradel, do you think they should bring him on tonight, at least to give experience to the team?
Well, experience in the sense that tell them when to not to force the ball, tell them not to waste energy. Tell them, yes, in terms of that, yes, I agree. But in terms of his quality. I think his quality has diminished a bit.
Masgrade, yes.
Yeah. I think his quality has diminished, and there are better players than him in the squad. For example, Pepe doesn't get enough
playing time.
Like, so at the end of the day, the only thing his experience can bring is sort of, relieve them of the pressure, because he has won it before. Tell them like what not to do. Like, it can be like a coaching staff today, but in terms of contributing on the field of play, maybe the last 20 minutes he can come in. By that time, it will be too late anyways, in my opinion. So I don't really believe that his experience will have anything to add to this Ivorian team, because the Senegalese team is the strongest in this tournament, and for any team, even Nigeria, we struggle against that team. So talk more of a team that barely qualified for the round of.
Okay, we'll still come back to that. Let's quickly look at this story as it concerns Super Eagles. We are still talking about the AFCON because we cannot stop talking about it. It's our own biggest football showpiece on the continent of Africa. Now let's look at this story. Commons keep coming in for the Super Eagles after that performance against the indomitable Lions of Cote d'Ivoire. SWAN, that is Sports Writer Association of Nigeria, congratulates the Super Eagles for their for beating indomitable Lions in that round of 16. 2-0 ended. A brace from Lukman Haruna. You can see him on the screen. So happy. I was also happy for him. But for the Sport Writer Association of Nigeria, from the president Benjamin Shire and through the secretary, that is Ambassador Inkena Okonkwo, has congratulated the Super Eagles. A lot of thumbs up is coming for this thing.
Well deserved, because the boys have shown that when their back is against the wall, they have the strength, the inner strength to push back. And we have seen they've brought smiles to our faces, because all we want for our Super Eagles team is to win as a team. And they are doing that, and they're getting the picture of playing as a team. If you look at our last game, they played more as a team. You could see Osimhen coming, backtracking, even though he was doing more of the work in the final third, he was still coming back to help out with the defense, which is what we want. And I'm happy that they've not sent delegates to Ivory Coast this time around to promise them.
They're already there. They'll choke you. They're already there.
No, because that has always been our problem. When they promise them cash gifts and other things, everybody will relax and will get out of the competition. So at least at the
some of them that are there.
Yes, ex-professionals are going there, which is a great sight to see. I don't think I've seen the Nations Cup where we have ex-internationals going
for even Emmanuel Adebayo coming down, went to the Super Eagles camp to actually talk to them.
It's great, and I'm beginning to believe if we can pass the order of Angola, we have 1 in 4 chance to win the Nations Cup. And the closer you are to the goal, the more optimistic you become. And I believe that Super Eagles should keep their faith high in this competition.
Okay, Super Eagles should keep their faith. The good news is the Ivorians, Cote d'Ivoire, is always a good omen for Nigeria. Whenever we avoid a defeat against Cote d'Ivoire, we'll go ahead to win the Nations Cup. Would that happen this time around? In 2013, it happened. In 1994, it happened. In 1980, it happened. If we avoid a defeat, any time we avoid a defeat against Cote d'Ivoire, we normally go ahead to lift the trophy. All right, still talking about the AFCON and the Super Eagles. Now, this is a disturbing news, but let's see how it goes, because he's going to be examined before Friday, and we still have a couple of hours and days to that time. For Coach Jose Pizarro, he said he is hopeful for Stanley Nwabali's injury. Now, everybody that day, including myself and everybody that was watching that game, were not really happy that I would have even expected that referee to give that guy a red card, because he actually he didn't go for the ball at all. So now the coach, Jose Pizarro, is hopeful that this young man, Stanley Nwabali, would be fit before that game against Angola on Friday.
He isn't the only one that is hopeful for Nwabali to be back.
200 million Nigerians.
Yes, even his teammates are there. If you look at the footage where he got injured, where they were trying to spray his leg, Onyeka was saying, try. You understand? It was encouraging him to still play. And that was why the medical team left the pitch, because I think they already knew that he couldn't play anymore. But Onyeka was trying to encourage him, say, play now. You could see that they now have confidence in him more than they do of Izoho.
Yes. And
the fact that a goalkeeper that is keeping with you for the first time in a major tournament, you feel his importance that much. It means that he has earned the trust of all his teammates. And so Pizarro, the Super Eagles team, and 200 million Nigerians, as well as other people that are supporting Nigeria, are praying right now that he gets back by Thursday and tells us that he's fully fit to play on Friday.
Okay, he's fully fit to play on Fridays. Bali, please, we are praying for you from here, from Trust TV, from Abuja, from the other 36 states of the country. Every football loving Nigerian is praying for you to get well so that you can be at that in between the sticks for the Super Eagles against Angola. Like I said, few minutes away from now, the first game, Cape Verde against Mauritania. The Blue Sharks, they are called. The Cape Verdeans have really shown that, yes, they are a force to be reckoned with in the Nations Cup. That game will be kicking off moments away from now. We'll still go back to that. We'll still go back to those fixtures before we end the program. But let's go straight to Europe. Let's go to look at some La Liga games that were played over the weekend, and then we'll look at the table for Barcelona. It was a trashing of their. It was a trashing 5-3. It ended. Okay, the result is on the screen. Real Sociedad played a goalless draw with Rayo. They played in that game. Las Palmas lost to Real Madrid. Real Madrid also struggled to win that game. 2-1. Barcelona got the beating and the bashing of their life at Camp Nou. 5-3 it ended after they went ahead, and Villarreal said, okay, we have something under our sleeves that you have not seen yet, and it was a quick fire goals, 3 goals, quick fire 3 goals, and it ended 5-3 in favor of Villarreal. Real Betis beat Mallorca 1-0. Girona also beat Celta Vigo 1-0. For Athletic and Cadiz, they ended on a goalless draw. So Sevilla and Osasuna played the 1-1, and for Atletico Madrid it was 2-0 against Valencia. Before I will allow you to react to that result of Barcelona against Villarreal, let's look at the table. Let's see what that means. Let's see those victories, how it has shaped the table. For Girona, they are at the top of the table after 22 games with 27 goal difference and 55 points, 1 point ahead of Real Madrid, who have a game in hand. Atletico Madrid also have a game in hand. They are third with 44 points. Barcelona has 44 points. On the 4th position, Athletic Club, that is Athletic Bilbao, is on the 5th position with 42 points. Real Sociedad 6 with 36 points. Real Betis is 7 with 34 points. And Valencia is 8 with 32 points. Las Palmas is on the 9th position with 31 points. And Getafe is on the 10th with 26 points. Let's look at the flip side of the table quickly and see how other teams are faring. We now have Alaves 11th on the 26 points. Osasuna is 12th with 26 points. Rayo is 13th with 24 points. And Almeria, Granada, Cadiz, these 3 teams at the bottom side of the table. Quickly, Femi, for Barcelona, they lost that game at Camp Nou. 5-3. What's happening? Though Xavi has said at the end of the season, if things don't go well, he will be leaving the team.
I feel like Barcelona fans will want him to leave the team right now.
Even before the end of the season.
Yeah, because he's a great coach. I'm not doubting his abilities, but there comes a time where if this team is struggling, you can't always blame the players, because a coach adapts to whatever situation he's in. So for Xavi, they've been having a poor run of results lately. It's been up and down, up and down.
Ups and downs.
Yeah, like so the problem for me is that their issues off the pitch is now beginning to get to them on the pitch. Okay. There's a demand, an absolute demand for results. Of course, in Barcelona, it's a different set of pressure for any manager, but they're off the pitch, their financial issues are beginning to get to everybody behind the scenes, and is affecting their performance on the pitch. Because Villarreal are struggling in La Liga.
La Liga, surprising.
And they went to Camp Nou to trash a Barcelona team that won the league last season. Like so it's a strange season for them, as well as Girona, who is having the time of their lives.
Yes, of course, strange for those 2 clubs in La Liga in Spain. Let's quickly leave La Liga and go straight to the Italian Serie A. There were games also in the Italian Serie A. Let's have the result quickly of the games played in Italian Serie A. For Napoli and Lazio, it was a goalless draw. They played in Rome. Okay, Genoa beat Lecce 2-1. Hellas Verona 1. Frosinone 1. Monza 1. Sassuolo 1. Lazio and Napoli in Rome, it was a goalless draw. Fiorentina were beaten. For Inter Milan, they continue to grind and win. That's to show the tough of a champion. Atalanta beat Udinese without Ademola Lookman 2-0. And Juventus and Napoli played 1-1. AC Milan 2. Bologna 2. Let's look at the table. Let's look at the table and see what it means. Now Inter Milan still remain at the top of the table with 54 points, having a game in hand. And then for Juventus, they are second with 53 points. AC Milan is third with 46 points. Atlanta is fourth with 36 points. And then we have Fiorentina fifth with 34 points. Lazio is sixth with 34 points. And Torino and Napoli, Roma 8, 9, and 10. They have 33 points, 32 points, 32 points, and 31 21 points. Let's look at the flip side of the table quickly. We have Genoa on the 11th position with 28 points, Monza 12th with -7 and 28 points. Frosinone is 13th with 23 points and -12, and Salernitana continues to remain at the bottom of the table with 12 points. For Napoli, they've not really been showing a good sign of defending the title they won last season.
Yes, the fact that their manager who got them the Scudetto had left them, it meant that whatever manager was coming back into the picture is not coming in as a defending champion. It's coming in to implement his own philosophy. So if their manager who had won the Scudetto was still with them, it would have been like a building block. Like it would have been just adding a bit of ingredient into what has already been prepared. But new managers come with new philosophy, and they've had 2 managers already this season. So I think that has affected the team, and also all the issues with Osimhen and off the pitch, all the issues that they had,
transfer saga,
the contract issue, the racism issue with the club. I think all those things also affected them. So I don't think they will be going to Europe based on this current form, except something changes quickly.
Okay, so something changes quickly. Let's quickly run over the other leagues in Europe. There was no league games in England. Let's look at the German Bundesliga. There were results in the German Bundesliga. We'll just look at the result and then the table. Augsburg lost to Bayern Munich 3-2. Werder Bremen 3-1 against FC Freiburg. Hoffenheim won. Heidenheim won. For VfB Stuttgart, they beat RB Leipzig 5-2. Wolfsburg won. FC Cologne won. Bayer Leverkusen played a goalless draw with Mönchengladbach. FC Union Berlin won. Darmstadt 98-0, and Borussia Dortmund beat VfL Bochum 1848 3-1. Let's look at the first side of the table quickly and see Bayer Leverkusen and Bayern Munich, because those are the 2 horses that are running in that league right now. 49 points and 47 points, just 2 points separating them. They've played the same number of games, 19-19, and if you look at the goal difference, also 2 goal difference between the 2 of them. And Heidenheim surprisingly have find their way to the 10th position. I'm actually surprised for that team, now staying at the 10th position. Dortmund is 4th, Leipzig 5th, Eintracht Frankfurt 6th. All right, let's go straight to French Ligue 1. PSG also had their own fair share of the weekend results in Ligue 1. We have Montpellier and Lille played goalless draw. Clermont Foot won, Strasbourg won, Lorient 3, Le Havre 3, Reims 0, Nantes, the team of Moses Simon 0, and for Paris Saint-Germain against Brest, it was 2-2 draw. Let's look at the table. Let's just look at the first side of the table for French Ligue 1, because we'll still go back to the AFCON quickly before we leave the studio. Let's look at the first side of the table. PSG continues to remain at the top of the table with 44 points. Nice is 2nd with 38 points, and Brest is 3rd with 35 points. Monaco 4th with 34 points. Lille 5th with 32 points. Reims is 6th with 30 points, and Strasbourg is 10th with 25 points. Rennes also have 25 points, 9th position, but goal difference separating them. Lens have 29 points, and Marseille is on the 7th position. Let's stay with Europe a bit. Let's go back to England, where we have one fixture in the 4th round of the FA Cup coming up tonight also in the English competition. We have Blackburn Rovers against Wrexham in the FA Cup 4th round fixture, and they are league fixture, just 3 of them, one in La Liga, one in the Italian Serie A, and the other one in the German Bundesliga. Let's look at that before we now go back to Cape Verde, where you will react to. Let's see the score. Okay, we have Getafe against Granada, that is in the La Liga, and then Salernitana will take on AS Roma. Now let's go back to AFCON fixtures quickly. Femi, Cape Verde against Mauritania, your prediction?
3-0 to Cape Verde.
Huh?
3-0.
3-0.
Yes. For
Cape Verde against Mauritania. Okay, yes. What of Senegal, Ivory Coast, 9 p.m.?
4-1.
4-1.
Yes.
In favor of who? In favor of Senegal. Okay, in favor of Senegal. He said 3-0, 3-4 Cape Verde, nothing for Mauritania, and 4 for Senegal, 1 for Cote d'Ivoire. All right, that is why we'll leave it on the show this evening. Femi Davis, thanks for coming on the show, it's a wonderful one having you here.
Thank you.
And before we go quickly, let's just leave you with some highlights of the Africa Cup of Nations.